Hello, welcome to Now Tell Us. This is where people come and tell us stories. They come and inspire us, educate us, or give us a highlight to a course that is ongoing. Before we proceed further, I would like to know if we have someone who's watching. Are we clear on the sound? Because there had been a technical issue before. So, this is what we want to be quite sure that we are okay. And as we proceed, we would like to hear feedback from you, each and every one of you who's listening, who's watching. And always remember to share our episodes with your friends. And we will appreciate that. At this point, I'm going to welcome our guest today, who is known as Elizabeth Louis. And I hope I got that right.
Elizabeth Lewis, but that is fine. It definitely looks
Okay,
like
yeah,
Louis.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm used to French. I'm used to French
Yeah.
names. So
Yeah. Well,
maybe
us
we'll like.
Americans, we got to change how things are said, it feels like.
Okay, now to get us started, let's know where you are so that the next time we don't cut it short.
Oh, no worries. I'm in Virginia.
Okay, wonderful. And that's where you were born?
Yes, I was born in Virginia, moved back a few years ago.
Okay, so today we are going to be covering the topic Master Your Mindset. But before we go right into it, we'd love to know. Yes, you were born in Virginia, and is that where you grew up? And how was it as you were growing up?
Oh, I mean, I don't have any other experience to compare it to, so I guess it was fine. I mean, I don't know anything other than that, it's if you love history, then Virginia is kind of like a great place to be. If you don't love history, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. We got a lot of history here. Where'd you grow up?
Mhm. I grew up in Kenya,
Ah, how
and
was that?
yeah, I grew up in Kenya, then Nairobi, and it was wonderful. Although right now I'm in Athens, Greece. That's where I'm based.
Ooh, that's fun. That's got to be beautiful.
Hmm. So, what is it that you do, if I may ask?
Yes, so I'm an executive performance coach and I help high achievers develop a winning mindset while increasing their revenue for their companies.
Beautiful. And how does it go? I mean, how do you do it?
Uh, I do it through using a lot of different tools. This is where I really tailor everything to the client to figure out where they're struggling. But maybe you'll agree with this, maybe not. A lot of our issues kind of come down, and issues might be the wrong word there, but a lot of our dilemmas, I guess I could say, come down to our mindsets and how we see the world and how we see the situation. And so I spend a lot of time working on mindset, but I've helped companies get to the $1 billion mark. I've helped financial advisors increase their closing rate by $4 million in 3 sessions. So there's lots of tools that we can do to kind of close the barrier and shift their thinking and also implement that strategy. But strategy is hard until you have the right mindset.
Hmm, that's wonderful. And we would be interested to know how to, as we have put our topic, how to master our mindset. How can I master my mindset and what's
Yeah.
important?
Okay, well, I'll answer the
Mm-hmm.
second question first. Why is it important? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's important because if you don't learn how to master your mindset, it's going to be really hard to live authentic to you. It's going to be hard to do the decisions that are best for you. And you might wake up one day and not love your life because you've allowed everyone else to make the decisions for you. And when you can't master your mindset or you haven't, sometimes like external realities dictate how we internally feel, and that just puts you on one heck of a roller coaster that's, in my world, not very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
As for how to master your mindset, there's lots of steps that you can take. And, this is where I encourage people to bring their unique personality, because I'm not saying like this is the correct order. This is just the order that I've seen that works best for the average person. And first, it's getting clear, like, where are you going? What's that ideal way of living? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look like? How are you making decisions? How toxic is your thinking, and then working to prune out that toxic and dysfunctional way of thinking that we are all susceptible to and we all have it. And then it's learning how to practice mindfulness, how to practice acceptance, how to navigate those intense emotions, how to develop a cheerleading self-talk in your own mind, because there's going to be days where like nobody is agreeing with what you should do, and you've got to be your own cheerleader and believe in yourself more than anyone else. And then learning how to communicate
Mm-hmm.
effectively.
And looking at your profile, I came across two interesting words. Kind of, and I would love to know about it, or the listener or the one who's watching could get it about these two words. One of them is neuropsychotherapist. What is that?
Yes. So, neuropsychotherapy or a neuropsychologist is going to pay attention to the brain behavior connection as well as your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Whereas a traditional therapist really just looks at your thoughts and emotions. So, that
Mm-hmm.
neuropsychotherapist or neuropsychologist is really going to also pay attention to how your brain behavior is helping kind of cultivate some of your thoughts, because our brain can become overbalance in some areas. We could have neurons that are starved in other areas, and we need to feed those neurons so that we can have more of a functional neurology that can also impact having just a healthier psychology and physiology.
Good. And what about psychometrics?
Yeah, psychometrics is gosh, the nerd in me is going to come out because I just think it's so much fun. So psychometrics is honestly another way of saying personality testing or personality assessments. With psychometrics, the theory is this: that you are taking a personality assessment and you're comparing it, excuse me, to the personality or the traits that would be most impactful in that career. So, for instance, if you are a CEO, there's certain personality traits that you want to hit to like the T for you to be more successful in that job field than outside of it. And so all of these IO psychologists have come together and figured out what are those traits and what are those qualities to make you exceptional or a rock star in that field. And then, it's kind of like taking an x-ray of that person's brain, and then you compare it to where that person would need to be, and you can start to see where you need to increase a personality trait or decrease a personality trait so that you can be more impactful in your job.
Mm, yeah, is always looking at being more impactful, being more productive, and being uh, of a higher value. Um,
Yeah.
Now, we want to thank all those who are watching us, those who are listening to us. And at this point, let me mention someone who's already here. And Andy Charles is saying, yeah, Elizabeth, love the fact that you are keeping it real. Yeah, it's always good real.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you, Andy, and all the others who are watching. We thank you. Um, we are talking about mastering our own mindset, and that is going to be important in everything that we do in life on
Mhm.
a day-to-day basis. And one, there's another thing that you mentioned in what you talk about. The 5 traits that make us the happiest. Which are those? I would be interested to know.
Yes,
Um,
so the
because they,
acronym is OCEAN, which can help you remember, and it's openness, conscientiousness, extroversion. Oh my gosh, I just blanked on the A one. Oh no! And then there's the
it's
N one.
okay.
The N is neuroticism. Oh my gosh, I just blanked on the
Mhm.
A. I want to say it's like something around agreeableness, assertiveness. Oh my gosh, that is going to drive me nuts. I cannot believe I just
Okay.
just uh, I
Okay.
just
Oh,
had a
we can
brain
always
fart
come
there.
back to that. Never mind. Never mind. And Arya mentioned about effective communication. So maybe that's what we are going to focus on, even to be prepared for the next time that we are going to come and talk about the 5 traits.
It's
So, what is
agreeableness. I looked at my notes. It's agreeableness. I got
oh,
it.
agreeable? Okay, that's good. Okay, take us through now, since you looked
Yeah,
at your
I'll
notes.
take you through it now. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's
Hopefully, you
okay.
guys also have those brain parts. So the big 5 personality traits are openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. One fun thing to know about agreeableness is the less agreeable you are, the more likely you are to make money, and the less neurotic you are, the healthier your psychology theoretically will be. And so the goal here is to be high with openness, have high, medium to high conscientiousness, because that conscientiousness can cause you to be a little bit more perfectionistic or rigid with your rules and the way you see the world. And the human brain was really never supposed to factor in that right or wrong equation that we so easily want to live by. And then the higher extrovert, the more extroverted you are, the better agreeableness is going to also depend on your job. And then the goal for neuroticism is to be very low on that scale. And if you can kind of master that, then theoretically you'll have a little bit better psychology and quality of life.
Thank you for that. We have many people with comments and questions. Let's see if we'll get this one correct. This one is directed to you. And the question is coming from one Vivid Chris, and he's asking, which part of brain is usually active for delivering and also for receiving stress? Is this your area?
Yeah, so if I understand the question correctly, your limbic system is going to do a lot of that stress evaluation at the end of the day. And like within the limbic system, the amygdala sits kind of a little bit on the limbic system as well. And so if you've had a lot of chronic stress as a child or a lot of trauma as a child, what can happen sometimes is you'll go limbic system to prefrontal cortex, where the healthier way of wiring your brain, like how we would want to be, is prefrontal cortex to limbic system. Because the amygdala can detect a threat in like nanoseconds, and it might not really be a threat, but because you've established that association as being a threat, you can kind of like run through it. So stress is when you're chronically stressed, when you're constantly in the fight or flight or freeze mode, you're in your amygdala, which means you're really more so in your limbic system. And so your goal is to get out of that limbic system by getting out of what's known as a limbic loop, if that makes sense.
That's very well answered. Thank you for that. And we keep going. And I am curious to know, in the years that you've practiced, right? A few years back, let's talk of 2 years back, there was a lot of things going on. We all know what went ahead. There was a pandemic. What experiences can you share with us of that period that you're passionate about?
In regarding to just like mastering your mindset when there's pandemics,
Mastering
or
your mindset. People are going through some issues, some challenges. And, you experienced you were interaction with people, I guess. Maybe some of the trainings, maybe you went online and you interacted with a lot of people. You have some stories to tell, I guess.
So when COVID happened, my personal life didn't change because I've been working behind the computer for so long, because I work with people all around the world. And obviously I can't travel to everyone. So my life didn't change. If I'm hearing your question correctly, what were some of the challenges that people faced with the pandemic? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, and how did they tackle them? What was required, or what was something that they missed to do that they should have done with the right mindset?
There was a lot of work challenges, obviously, with COVID, with the shift, and a lot of people had to be mom, dad, teacher, and employee all at once, which, my heart went out to some of those people because that was a lot. My clients didn't really struggle anything with COVID per se. A lot of my clients have high flexibility, and so it's just really practicing that. The one thing that I can say around the whole COVID thing is you have no idea when you're going to die. Live life to the fullest. Don't allow fear to keep you stuck or keep you in bondage or keep you limited, because life is short, and it's one chance that we get. I know for me in 2017, I had no immune system. They literally told me to live in a bubble, like Bubble Boy, which is a movie. It makes me laugh. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And at the end of the day, we know that 98 to 75% of all mental and physical illnesses are due to your thoughts, which means only 2 to 25% are due to the environment or your genes. So your thoughts have a huge impact on if you're going to get sick or not. And it's crazy. Like you can take like cancer or autoimmune diseases, and you can actually start to find what the core psychological issue or emotional or even spiritual issue is within a person to help them then fight that or reframe their viewpoint. Which I think is just incredible how, it's all connected at the end of the day as a human being. If you are bitter, then you might get osteoporosis or you might get cancer. And so it's really learning how to not allow the external reality to impact your internal world. And this is where I say, if you don't have a faith system, if you don't believe in something bigger than yourself, it's going to be harder because humans need hope. We just need it.
Sure, they do need hope. And thank you for that point, because it's an important thing. I mean, there is so much that we can do on our own, the strength, the wisdom, and everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. But then every single time we have to remember that there's someone who has the power more than us, and we can always look back and tap from that power, that wisdom, and
Yeah.
that knowledge. Yeah, so it's a very good point that you make here. And that's the point I like saying, that surrendering yourself to the higher guidance.
Yeah. And what's fascinating to me is, again, just the nerd here. There's something called neurotheology, which is the
Mhm.
neuroscience of theology in our brain. And what we're finding is we are really wired to believe in something bigger than us. It helps your psychology. And there's not a human in this world who hasn't questioned if God is real or not. Like that's insane when you think 7 billion people have all thought about God. That's crazy.
Mm, yeah, it is. It is. Wow, wonderful. Then thank you very much, Elizabeth, that we have you here in this show,
Yeah.
and we are going to definitely master our mindset, taking from the lessons that you've given unto us today. And
Yes.
we also thank each and every one of the people who have been following us. And please remember to share this with all your friends. Uh, Before we go, would like to you to take charge and about anything that you think that it should be important to share before we leave.
I would say when it comes to mastering your mindset, the most important thing is to learn how to take your thoughts captive. Because not every thought you
Mm-hmm.
have is a real thought. In fact, I use this with my clients. It's a gremlin. I think he's kind of scary. I got the one with glasses,
Oh.
so it's not as scary, right? And if you can see fear and negativity being this guy and not you, it's easier to like take him captive, right? Than seeing it as
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And do the work to learn your automatic thoughts. Explore what your core beliefs are and do your best to reframe that core belief to being more optimistic and positive, because we know the more optimistic you are, you're going to be more open, you're going to be more trusting, and that means you're going to have a better quality of life, because every single thing we do in life runs through our brain. And so if you cannot learn how to practice thought control, it's going to be really difficult to create a life that you want to live, because you're going to have days that say, where that like gremlin says like, nope, you suck, you're a piece of crap, you can't do anything. And you have to be able to talk back to that guy and be like, no, I'm a child of God, or I'm amazing, or I know I can do this with my effort. And that's one of the biggest like secrets to learning how to master your mindset, is learning how to take each thought captive. And we can have 6 to 70,000 thoughts a day. 80% of our thoughts can be, well, actually 1 to 99% of our thoughts can be negative, but 80% typically is what it is for the average person. And 95% of our thoughts are the same every single day. So every single day you are given an opportunity to figure out, what are you thinking? What are you meditating? Because we work to create our most dominant thought. So if your most dominant thought is negative or fear-based or sick-based, then don't be so surprised when you are sick, afraid, or unable to do anything. And so reframe it, because you know what? Can't and can are equal. Faith and fear are equal in substance. You've just got to figure out which one you're going to honor and which one you're going to hold on to. And you might feel crazy some days as you change your thinking, because you're not able to see what you want to see until you do it. And that's part of life, is just moving forward and holding on to hope and faith, and just trusting that something bigger than you has your back at the end of the day. That definitely helps me.
Hmm. And I like something that you bring to light, something that I love. You should, every listener should take time and think. what they are thinking. I mean, it's interesting. Think what you are thinking. Don't just
Right?
think on free fall. No, be intentional in the thoughts that you engage in your life. I mean, in your mind,
Yeah.
because they're going to change your life. Be very
Yes.
intentional. So that's a reminder from Elizabeth. And at this point, we are almost coming to the end. But before we go, I would like Elizabeth to leave us with a few words, being our special guest today, to leave us with words. Um, okay. Um, think what you are thinking. Okay, I love this conversation. Kabira Daisy, thank you very much. We appreciate.
Yeah.
And if you'd like Elizabeth to come back again and continue with this conversation, please leave that comment there. We'll appreciate very much. And yeah, and even before we go there, how can people reach you if we finish this and they would like to continue with the conversation? How can people follow up with you, please?
Yeah. So I'm on, so first off, Elizabeth Lewis, LOUIS.com is my website. I'm very active on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you want to figure out maybe some of your automatic thinking, then I encourage you guys to go to elizabethlewis.com/thinking trap quiz that allows you to figure out what your automatic thinking traps are, so your negative automatic thoughts, and it will score you in 17 of the most common thinking traps, which is pretty cool because you can get ahead of it, right? If 95% of our thoughts are the same every single day, then we want to get ahead of the bar so we can save some time. I'm all about like functionality and collapsing time because we don't got the time to do some of the things that we do.
Yeah, so thank you very much. So that once again, that's www.elizabethlouise.com/thinking trap quiz for
Yeah.
that quiz that she has talked about. And we see that he loves the book. Thank you very much. We appreciate your feedback. And yeah, remember what we've said. Remember to subscribe to every part that we are present on nowtellers.com, on Audible, search for Now Tellers, on Spy, search for Now Tellers, and connect with us. And yeah, all the wisdom that you are getting from here is valuable to apply to your life. So go do it.
Yes, go do it.
Yes,
Follow him.
that
He's
let's
awesome.
go back. Sorry.
I said you're awesome. Definitely follow you.
Yes, thank you. So I was saying before, we would like to hear a few words that we should always remember.
Always
That
to
is
remember,
Elizabeth.
I
Mm-hmm.
would say that you can do whatever you put your mind to, and the impossible becomes possible every single day if you're willing to believe in it.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
The impossible can become possible if only you're willing to believe in it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's about it for today at Now Tell Us. We thank Elizabeth for being here. And we also thank you for listening or watching and being with us. The questions, the comments that you put forth, we appreciate. And yeah, keep it positive and master your mindset. So says Elizabeth. Yeah, please do.
Yes.
And that's it for
Yes.
now. I've been your host, Anthony Mwerore. Together with Elizabeth Louise, we are saying bye for now.
Have a good one.
Bye.